Hello once again. For those of you who do not follow my blog, The Writings, this video follows up my most recent blog post on where and how I feel Being Breath is going. And just to summarize it, basically looking at really starting to tailor my offerings to creating the world in which I want us to live. So offering invitations, remembrances, insights, thoughts, ponderances, all sorts of things surrounding that. With today's video, I wanted to talk about parenting in relation to that because my goodness, how I parent is definitely part of how I am creating the world, not only in which I live today, but the world that's going to exist long after I do. And as with everything else, there really isn't a right or a wrong answer. There's just consequences that happen. The current situation that I have, and I love being able to share this, my beautiful daughter wrote a paper and she shared it with me before she submitted it. And I will put an image of this up under the comments and the links so that you can see this too, because I find it absolutely creative. But in it, and I'm referencing it over here, so don't mind me just kind of looking away for just a minute. The paper was about Alex and Eliza. So Alexander Hamilton, it's a love story book that she had read, and this was a paper for school. And in it, she finished up by typing a paragraph, and she inserted little lyrics from the Hamilton musical into it. And it was very amusing. She knows most of those lyrics. But she said in that paragraph, she wrote, "That probably took half the points off my grade, but I still felt like typing Hamilton lyrics today." She finishes up her paper, and then down at the bottom, in little tiny font, she puts, "Sorry about all the humor in this. It just makes writing it more fun for me. I can stop though." And that's how she submitted her paper. So, it's cute, right? Right, yeah. How I handle this, how I react to this has consequences, one way or the other. So on the one hand, she knows that what she potentially wrote over here is opposed to the directions that she was supposed to follow. She knows that her grade could be docked, right? And part of education, part of what we are teaching as adults is teaching our children and one another how to follow the rules that exist, because rules do exist for a reason. They help us to create order, and they help us to make sense of various things. And really many guidelines and rules and structures out there exist to help us create a better world. They really do. And allowing her or anyone else to choose which rules they want to follow and when they want to follow can really set a dangerous precedent. On the other hand, this particular jumping outside of the rules could really be seen as creative expression. She answered the question, she did what she was asked to do, while addressing it with her own flair. In so doing, she even addresses that she is aware of the consequences of her actions. And within that awareness, she still takes responsibility for it and answers in the way that she chose to answer, with the lyrics, with the humor in there. To me, that shows a huge amount of maturity and responsibility that I find that many adults don't even have. So combined with her awareness that it's fun for her, she knows that she enjoys writing in that type of style, and that I always want her to have a love of learning first and foremost, even if that means a little bit lower grades. It makes it a very interesting conundrum of how to follow up with this. I am going to throw a side note in here before I wrap all of this up. My daughter is actually homesick today, and she is sitting right over there so she can hear everything, there you go, that I am saying for this video. And I did that on purpose. I want her to understand that as she is going through all of this and figuring out, so am I figuring all of this out as a parent. And I want us to be able to have these conversations and for us to be able to work it out together. There are some times that I'm going to say, because I'm the mom and that's how it goes, because I said so, as much as I hated that as a kid. But there are many times that I want us to work this out together because the conversation is part of what we are creating. As I mentioned, there is no right or wrong answer here. And even if I felt a clear right or wrong path right now and said, okay, you need to adjust this paper or leave it as it is and we'll go talk to your teacher, that sort of thing, because I love it, I have to acknowledge that my understanding of education is based off my own path. And this future that she is moving into, that my children are moving into, is going to be extremely different from the one that I am living in now. Education is going to mean degrees, grades, all of that are going to mean something complete. Slight technical problems there, but we're back. Anyways, continuing on. Knowing that the world is going to be much, much different and that I don't truly know how to prepare her for the world that she is entering into, I have to acknowledge that as much as I will guide her based off my own experiences and education, I have to acknowledge that I certainly do not have any clear idea of what she is really going to need, what my kids are really going to need when they go out into the world on their own. This is all part of the dance. This ongoing awareness and this conversation with my kids, my husband, my friends, about all of our actions and how we see them shaping the world. And I just want to wrap up to all of my fellow parents. May you remain in the awareness outside of a hard and fast right and wrong, and be willing to explore the creation of your and your children's futures, one curiosity at a time. Until next challenge.